ever happened to planet Earth since its inception for another 500,000 years. That's a lot of time. As the greatest event as has ever happened, that God manifested himself in the form of this individual, the human being, we call him glory of God, Baha'u'llah. He has said that it's very amazing, Baha'u'llah actually look at the politics, look at the government, and he certified the government of the United Kingdom as his choice. He says do it the one that they do it in Londonderry, in England. But he says at the same time, republics, democracy, it's more useful, he says, has more benefit to people. But he has this element of kingdom to be the part of the government. But then on the side of it, he says that it is good to have democracy and elections, which is what England is. That's what he says. So, what are the good things of the autocracy? Autocracy, let's say in England or Japan, it helps. That things that, again, is one of the prime directive in the Baha'i government, is unity and diversity. Baha'i does not want to make all the people the same. There's no such idea. It's boring, according to Baha'u'llah. And futile, and create depression. We need to be diverse. It is no need for me to become an English. I can be an Iranian and shake the hand of an English man, gradually to know him and he knows me, and there's always many choices to have friends, to be with, to marry with, all the people. They're very important. And a king can do that. Why? Because the kingdom is really a sign of the very beginning of time. In the past, nations, pre-politics time, before politics comes, nations would have been formed and formulated either by a king or by religions. So the kings in the past have created these countries that we know in the past, before politics comes. So they are embodiment of the national inheritance, heritage, pride, and the custom and what mankind history has been in the civilization. He is such an entity that he does the preservation of a nation, national identity. It's very, very important. It keeps the nation to be diverse and not to be mixed up with other people, other nations. And theocracy, as you know, I've mentioned a few of them, such as Papa, Ayatollah, and whatnot, in the Baha'i faith is a very essential component of the Baha'i government, but through an election. It's very amazing. Baha'is do not appoint a person, forbidden, to be the boss. Man can never accept another person to be his boss. This election is wrong. So what Baha'i faith says that, no, elect a system, it says. Don't elect one person. Elect a combination of 9. Say Abbas along with John and Jim and whatnot, if I mix them up, the mixture of all of these, which are really the 10th person, we choose 9, but we come up with a opinion between the 9, this is the 10th person. It may not be the opinion of any one of them. There's a mix of all the compromises. That is what we elect, a virtual power. The 10th person rules us. 9 people are the ingredient to make that 10th person. So, but it is by the matter of democracy and election. But even that is not enough to create democracy. Because this is the philosophy of Quran, same as the Baha'i faith, and Quran is very emphasizing. He says everything besides God, everything has to be a pair. Things you know, things you don't know. This is the verse in Quran, the verse of democracy. If you apply it therefore in society, you have to have a pair. You don't have it, you die. You create dictatorship. You have this Republican, Democrat, Labour, Tories in England, everywhere. Every civilized society where there's a little bit of justice and freedom, there are 2 pairs. In countries such as, China or previous Soviet Unions or Iran, there's no such things. So Baha'i faith right now is suffering from deprivations of the lack of the secondary, institution. Right now there is local assembly, national assembly, universal house of justice, but there has to be universal house of guardianship, local house of elders, national house of elders. They would change in time to the national house of guardianship, local house of guardianship. They work together, local house of justice and local house of guardianship. And Baha'u'llah has used a opposition here that's natural. See, the religion of God is very amazing. This is why it's made between man and women. The member of local house of justice are men. Only, he says. People, they think the member of universal house of justice has to be men. No. At the moment you use the word house of justice, membership has to be male. Therefore, we have to have female. Out of men, women, that together they create these two pairs, you see. So they are a very important component of the Baha'i government. So far we talked about autocracy, which is good, the government, and now religion. So you could see that in a system of the kingdom or a king and kingdom, these royalties, they are really doing what? Holding the country, the identity of a national, the nations, everything that we have. Whereas religion is making the individual's characters, the spiritual characters. One makes the people, one makes the member of the nation, the other one makes the nations. So they both has to be there. And democracy is a part of it because it can't come more than this, but if there's no democracy, then how are you going to say who's the religious person? Baha'u'llah says we're all equal. Therefore, among the equal, we have to elect. So there is democracy, there's autocracy, and aristocracy, that's, kingdom. And there's autocracy too, which in this case is Baha'u'llah himself. So we have a Baha'i government in which the salient feature is an essentiality by the willingness, wholeheartedly, by the willingness of the individual who have become Baha'i, they accepted the laws of Baha'u'llah. These people, they have two elements. By election, which is their religion, their theocracy, and by in the matter of inheritance, their kings. These two are not the governments. They're just a component of it. The actual democracy comes and elects another government that works for now. It's not about the past, it's not about the house. It's the rule of the society. None of these elements, they can interfere with each other. A local house of justice or house of elders, they cannot interfere what's happening outside. But because the Baha'is themselves, they believe in the Baha'i faith, they create a Baha'i government, automatically many laws of Baha'u'llah that does not pertain to individual in the society at home, they will be adopted. So in the Baha'i faith, although very rare, but you will have a capital punishment for murder, for arson, for many things, which are all subjected to the interpretations, of course, of the future house of guardianship as to see how they fit, because this is the rule of Baha'u'llah. It has to help fit the situations. So, in that case, our autocrat is Baha'u'llah. We have kingdom, it takes care of the country and our past, our inheritance, our national pride, aristocracy. There's democracy. We elect the government. There's theocracy, which is also by election. So we have all the elements in such government. All right. Let's think. We said that. Let's just bring a few possible things that can happen. In my opinion, in such society, in such a Baha'i government, family, which is the womb, ancient womb, where mankind's character was built, comes 9 months in the body of the mother, Then comes 15 years within the house. That it comes to the highest possible form and integrity, where the people or their characters as an individual flourishes to the point that, according to Baha'u'llah, they themselves get connected to God, and they might say, I am God. There will be many of them that they tap into that internet and connect themselves to God. Don't worry, God is one. None of them will say that the religion of God has to be changed or not. It's all one God. Everyone knows Baha'i faith has to go up to 1,000 years. It's not a political decisions. So in this society, it becomes an organic society, a live society. What's the definition? I said that before. It's just like a material is made out of atoms, dead things, non-living things. Living things like plant and animal or us were made out of not cells, not out of atoms, out of cells. Cell is a living thing. Good society, a live organic society, is made out of the living cells, which is family. In that case, as Aldous Huxley even brings it, the mass turns into a team. It's all a team. Then people understand why Baha'is, they have to say Allahu Abha to each other. One Muslim says, what's the difference? Can I not say hello? I said, yeah, but there are many of these rules of Baha'u'llah as the integral rules. If perhaps all the people say the same thing to each other when they greetings or celebrate certain days, certain times, gradually they become one nations. To a point, of course. This is not about conformity. It's just about integrity, not conformity. So, in such society, bureaucracy, which is killing mankind. Oh my God, how much bureaucracy is there? I can't even say that. It all dies out because there is no poverty as such. Everyone eats and have everything they want, and the happiness is there. So many of this bureaucracy dies. In such society, as it is not right now, the individual integrity of a person and his personal informations become so highly important that even the Universal House of Justice does not have all the information of an individual. It's illegal in this society. Right now, CIA, FBI, I don't know, many people, they know everyone. This is a very dangerous situation we're creating by the information age. In the Baha'i government, my information are just like my property. They are like my bank account. No one knows what's in it. I have a card. If I want to go to doctor, I put my card in, put my code in. Doctor will access my information because I want it, because he wants to know what's going on with me. Or if I go to bank, I sign and give my information. My information is what did I go, where do I go, what did I buy, where am I now? Absolutely will become forbidden in the future. No one can. Right now it is. The way it's going, the age right now, this young boy that owns probably, I don't know how did he do it, but it's not that he did it, it's just the way the river comes and one piece comes up and that piece, you know, it could be anybody. It happened to be him, like Facebook or Bill Gates. It just happened they were there and they got it. They have all the information about everyone. They can sell it, they can do a lot of it, as they do right now. It's not privacy, isn't it? In that society, it becomes illegal, even for the state government, even for anybody to know my information, who's my wife, what are my children's. None of it is available. Unless otherwise time comes that I have to bring it up. Otherwise it's not. So, in such society, prison turns into become a school. There's no prison anymore. I've spoken that in the relationship of called in view Baha'i faith in Canada. I said, what do we have to do? Prison basically is the educational system, criminal schools. This children, sometimes they make a small mistake, they send them to school to be with other veterans in a crime. He comes back, brand new criminals with new knowledge to do new things. But then when you talk to the police and others, they say, hey, listen, we need a recycle bin. We have to have criminals, or we cannot have police. We cannot have judges. Society in the West is being made like this. So if everybody in the city goes 50 kilometers on the car, so nobody gives ticket, they're going to change it to 40 kilometers. So you fail. You have to fail. If it is 40, they bring it to 30. People become better, the law becomes harder and harder and harder. I will be speaking about the law later on. The source of the law in the West are the criminals. They dictate what new laws have to be enacted. The entire Congress, Senate, they all work for the criminals. They go cheat, do something with a credit card, something with a house, something with that, something with that. Based on that, lawyers, they say, yes, sir, Mr. Criminal. We found out, now we have to change. Now they create law and restriction for all the good people based on what the criminal tells them to do. Think about it. As the stupidest way of enacting laws. This is why Baha'u'llah has come to bring these natural laws, essential laws, laws that have integrated our bodies, you see. So in such society, attraction to the money and the wealth and the wealthy people dies out. People are attracted to each other and respect each other, love each other because of the arts they produce, because of their attitudes, their ethics, because of their spirituality, because of their knowledge, because of their charisma. That becomes the order of the day. That's what you have to do in order to attract your wife. Not your money won't help. Many of this is called free enterprise. This whole society at the West is based on the one winner and the rest of the society losers. This all goes away. There's no more competition between the individuals. You only compete with yourself. Even in the sport, they say this is your height, this is your genes. This is the possibility for you. Maximum possibility is to run, let's say, 200 kilometers. And this body, his genes, his height, all of the data for him, he has to run 300 kilometers. If you pass your 200, you beat him. If you can't pass his 300. So it's competition between yourself, with your past, with your yesterday, not with others. People understand they're all unique. There's no way to compete. This is not a Borg ship. Every one of us is different. How could you compete? Apple and pear. It's just not possible. All this pageants things, this crazy man Donald Trump has brought this up. I can't even watch the show. That one girl wins, and all these most beautiful girls, so talented, so much knowledge, so much art, they're all losers. You see, it's amazing. So it's a crazy society. Here right now I'm talking about those things. My brother used to tell me that when he came 20 years ago. When I told him in Canada, if you drink and they catch you, you lose your license. He says, I'm just amazed. Are you serious? I said, yes. He says, then why are they advertising to drink beer? Well, if these guys are smart enough to advertise, they know people are going to drink it. Unless they're going bankrupt because nobody listened to their advertisement. I said no. So for him, couldn't understand that you're telling to the fellow, come on, drink, and then as he does, you charge him. As the policeman was telling me that, Tony, don't complain from this, junkies. They're our employers. They make calls to the police station and then we have our job. If they're not around, we're not going to be around. Oh, so all my computers are stolen. I said, no problem, you have insurance. I said, aren't you going to go after this guy? He said, no. So, the best criteria, the coordinate of knowing a justice system, a just system, a real good system, is that the minorities have the same right as the majorities, like that it is in Canada right now. I tell you right now, the Baha'i government of the future in the entire planet is not much better than what we have in Canada right now. In Canada, we're two-dimensionals. We'll look at economy, material need, and social need. We do not look at the spiritual need, that it is a very essential component. We haven't got there. So, a lot of issues that has to be spiritually dealt with, they're dealt with, sociologically, and that creates a chaos in Canada. But, and so on and so forth. Somebody was telling me that in the future, would they stop the science, such as like people want to clone? I told them no. Only they understand cloning is another way of producing a man, just like we do it in the womb of your wife. We could also do it in a different way. But he will not be like you. You're only cloning the CD, not the songs. Can't do that. People find out. Another question somebody was asking me about what he was thinking. Oh yeah, if somebody's brain is transplanted, what happened? Nothing. The man with a new brain will be the person that had the brain before. He only finds out that his body is different. His brain has changed. All the information in there goes there. That's what happens. Unless you wipe it out and clean it up so he doesn't know who he is. If it happened that he knows, then it would be him. So I spoke some of the component of a Baha'i government in the future. So remember, National Spiritual Assembly will become National House of Justice, and that would have to have National House of Guardianship, and those two are not Baha'i governments. Baha'i government is made out of the Baha'is and non-Baha'is in the society, and it's not under the control of the religion or kingdom. No, they're all separate component. Just like our body, we have a brain, comes down, let's say Baha'u'llah. Something is the heart, something is the liver, something to the intestine. They all work together, but nobody interferes in somebody's function. That is what it means that we do not interfere into the politics. In a broad way, after the politics died. Right now we don't interfere in politics because it's limited to certain people and also is against the other politics of other places. So that's why we don't get involved in it. Very well. My God, I'm getting to the end of it, isn't it? What do I do after that? I'm not going to think about it. Right now, I spoke about this, and this is the 6th level, the level of a relationship of a man to the city, I said, to the country, which is national government. And I will have to continue on this level to bring few other things, such as economy, politics, and few other things to complete this, and then we go to the last one. May Baha'u'llah be with you all, the glory of God, His Majesty. I am so thankful that God actual God of the universe, He walked on this planet, on the body of a man. Isn't it wonderful to know that it is trillions and quadrillions and sextillions and gigaplex number of planets, God actually has not forgotten us. Today His name is Baha'u'llah.